Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your today's topic or principles of accounting for first year intermediate. Our topic is today's is transaction. That what is the actual term mean transaction is, and on what is the purpose where we are using this word specific terminology of accounting, which sometimes confuse the new learners of accounting, as you people are learning basically the basics of accounting in your first year intermediate. So let's talk about this word transaction. In the few lectures I discussed with you, but again I'm giving you the main description or detail discussion of this word and this terminology. I proceed towards the transaction. If I speak about the word transaction, basically you can see in the picture that transaction involves a money. Like this is a money. One is the buyer, another one is the seller. So one person is receiving the money, another person is paying the money. So whenever we have the word transaction, so we have two persons, buyers and the seller, sender and the receiver. Okay. And if I talk about the process, so process, we have the buying process and the selling process. Okay. If I talk about the specific definition of this word, an agreement between a buyer and seller to exchange an asset for payment. Definitely whenever we purchase any asset, uh, so for the payment of any fixed asset we need to pay some amount of money, and that payment of money will be called as a transaction. So this transaction is basically between the two person. I speak once again, buyers and the seller. Process is called buying and selling. Clear? Another few content that I would like to discuss with you. A transaction is an event that has financial impact on the business and can be measured by reliability. Like you should know the transaction is basically an event which happens between the two persons, buyers and the seller. Okay, so when this event occur, so we have a process of buying and selling, and for this process we need to pay a money or cash, you can say. Number 2 point, transaction involve give and get exchange. Definitely exchange process, because one person is receiving the commodity, another person is paying the money. So this is your exchange process. Then we have transaction must be stated in monetary terms. Monetary means something you are watching, something you are regulating. Okay, monitor means that you are written down the values, that I have purchased a furniture of 1 lakh. I have purchased my equipments of 50,000. So this is your monitoring, that you are notifying and recording your financial data to be entered in the books of accounts. Definitely you have a specific book in which you will record all your accounting transaction. Like currently you all are having your accounting registers with you to record all the transaction, to record all the events. Simultaneously for accountant having a book of accounts that we call bookkeeping, in which he is recording all the transactions. Okay, transactions in a day, and we have different transactions in a day. We have a buying process, we have a selling process, we purchase commodity, we sold commodities, so on. We have different types of transaction. If I talk about the transaction types, we have currently 4 types, but 2 are major. Okay, major means we have cash transaction and credit transaction. Okay, we have cash transaction. If I talk about the cash, this is your cash transaction. इसका मतलब क्या है बेटे? Whenever we purchase something, we pay the money. ठीक है? Like I purchase a book of rupees 100. It means I purchase a book and I pay 100 rupees to the shopkeeper. Second one is your credit. Credit means I purchase a book on credit. This on credit means that I have not yet paid to the shopkeeper. अभी मैंने उनको पैसे पे किए नहीं हैं और मैंने उनसे उधार पे commodity ली है. It means I have to pay Okay, it is on credit or on account. We use two words, on credit and on account. ACCOUNT, account. On credit and on account, I use these two words whenever I bought the commodity or I purchase the commodity on credit, udhar. Okay. Then we have some external transaction. External transaction means which is occur outside somewhere, and internal transaction which is occur internally, okay, inside. I will discuss this later, but main are your cash and credit transaction. Internal external transactions, it is given in your book. It is occur outside your business transactions or all your external transaction. Inside your business or inside your business activities, it is your internal transactions. Clear? So we have some rules for the identify cash or credit transactions. हमें cash और credit transaction को identify करने के लिए, उसको समझने के लिए कि अगर मेरे पास एक statement है, एक transaction है, I purchase furniture of rupees 50,000. तो जब मैं कह रही हूँ I purchase furniture of rupees 50,000, तो यहाँ मैंने इसका मतलब है उनको 50,000 rupees पे किए हैं ना. If the word paid is written, the transaction will be considered as a कैश ट्रांजेक्शन. जब पेड का वर्ड आ रहा है हमारे पास, तो वो ट्रांजेक्शन कौन सी ट्रांजेक्शन कहलाएगी बेटे? कैश ट्रांजेक्शन कहलाएगी. इफ बोथ कैश एंड पर्सनल नेम मीन्स हमने कैश का वर्ड भी लिखा हुआ है, अमाउंट भी आ रही है पेड बाय कैश, एंड पर्सनल नेम भी शो हो रहा है फ्रॉम मिस्टर अली are mentioned, then transaction will be considered as cash transaction. हमारे पास क्या आ रहा है? परचेज फर्नीचर फ्रॉम मिस्टर अली ऑफ रुपीज 50,000, तो ये भी हमारी कैश ट्रांजेक्शन ही होगी. ठीक है. If the word on account or on credit are used, if we have two words, अगर हमें ये दो लफ्ज लिखे हुए नजर आ जाए, on account or on credit, or the name is mentioned, लेकिन नाम भी mention है, like I purchased the furniture from Mr. Ali on account rupees 50,000, तो ये मेरी credit transaction होगी. या मैं बोलूँ I purchased furniture from Mr. Ali on credit of rupees 50,000, ये भी मेरी credit transaction है. ठीक है बेटे. This is all the rule for this. You can say the transactions rule and identification of the transaction. Now we have to proceed further. Okay, as you all are well aware about this rule of debit credit, which I taught you many times, and I want you people to learn it, by hook or by crook or by any means, you must know. You can revise it twice and thrice. Assets and expense when increases, it is debited. LCR when increases, it is credited. So it is very much important rule. We have done this. This is the definition of transaction which is given in your book. So a transaction is a particular type of external event. External event, definitely we pay someone and we have we have one buyers and sellers, which can be expressed in terms of money. As I told you that money is involved whenever we do some transactions, and bring change in the financial position of a business unit. Why they use the word financial position? Because के business में से पैसे जा भी रहे हैं और business के अंदर कोई commodity आ रही है, तो उसकी financial position change होगी कि एक asset आ रहा होगा and हमारे पास money payment हो रही है. Transaction involve transfer of something of value between two and more entities. Again, two and more entities, हम एक से ज़्यादा दो सामान भी खरीद सकते हैं, payment और ज़्यादा भी कर सकते हैं. A transaction may be exchanged in which each party receive as well as sacrifice values. So again, they talk about buyers and sellers over here. In other words, in every transaction, there is a movement of value from one source to another. Yes, as I told you, that we have one buyers and seller, so your source of cash is changing and your source of asset is also changing. For example, when goods are purchased for cash, अगर हमने कुछ पैसों पे कोई चीज खरीदी है, there is a movement of goods. हमारे पास जो सामान है वो सेलर से बायर की तरफ जाएगा और जो कैश है वो बायर सेलर को दे देगा. So this is the movements of good कि हमारे पास कोई भी एसेट आ जाएगा और उसके रिटर्न में हम कोई अमाउंट ऑफ मनी पे करेंगे. This is again, I took the your book content because you people must be aware what is inside your books of accounting. So we have this definition for the cash and credit transaction involve immediate cash or check payment. अगर हम कैश की बात कर रहे हैं तो पेड बाय बैंक भी हमारे पास कैश ट्रांजेक्शन में ही आता है, ठीक है. And then example is goods sold. Okay, not only purchase, sold transactions भी तो आ सकती हैं. Goods sold to Mr. X. अब हमने कहा goods sold to Mr. Ali for cash ₹8,000. हमने यहाँ पे goods sold to Mr. Ali होगा, ठीक है, और on account होगा तो credit होगा, for cash होगा तो cash transaction होगा, ठीक है. In cash transaction, the name of the party to whom the goods are sold or from goods to whom the goods are purchased is not recorded sometime. There is because of it serves no purpose. Sometime it is not necessary कि हमने जिससे लिया है हम उसका नाम लिखें, ठीक है. It can be goods sold for cash ₹8,000 like this. In credit transaction, it is an external transaction, ठीक है. It means something going out, not involving immediate cash. फौरन से cash payment नहीं होती है. And this is called your credit transaction. उधार की transaction होती है. हम कहते हैं बाद में पैसे दे देंगे, अभी चीज दे दें आप हमें. Example क्या है? Purchase of goods on credit from Mr. Y. जो वाय भैया हैं उनसे हमने कोई चीज उधार पे खरीदी है, that will be your purchase of commodity on credit and on account, ठीक है. In credit transaction, the name of the party is recorded to ascertain how much is owed. हमें name of the party ये बताता है कि हमें उधार किस specific person को pay करना है, ठीक है. Then we have a few transaction, and these transaction we have this is your question 2 in your book. We have A to P transactions. मैं randomly transactions को go through करूंगी. अगर first transaction को देखें हम लोग, started business with cash. Cash का word आपको already नजर आ रहा है, तो it means it is your cash transaction. Then we have received a check amounting ₹5,000 from Rahil. हमने एक चेक रिसीव किया है. हमारे पास कैश आएगा, डेफिनेटली चेक रिसीव करेंगे तो आपके पास पैसे आएंगे, कैश ट्रांजेक्शन है. Again, we have purchase an office table for ₹4,000 from Numan. हमने परचेज करी है ऑफिस टेबल मिस्टर नुमान से. यहाँ पे नहीं मेंशन कि आपने उसको पैसे कैश पेमेंट कर दी है या नहीं करी. Only the name of the person is mentioned, but it is not written the purchase office table for cash ₹4,000 is not mentioned. तो इसलिए हमने जो हमारे पास ये वाली जी वाली ट्रांजेक्शन इसको एज ए क्रेडिट ट्रांजेक्शन लेंगे. Name of the person is mentioned, but the word cash is not mentioned. Clear? Then we have E, पेड सैलरीज. जब मैंने आपको बताया, अभी हमने डेफिनेशन में देखा था कि जब वर्ड पेड लिखा हुआ है तो इसका मतलब वो भी आपकी कैश ट्रांजेक्शन है, ठीक है. तो हमने कैश ट्रांजेक्शन के लिए जो वर्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन रखी है वो पेड रखी है, लाइक पेड सैलरीज 30,000, पेड इलेक्ट्रिक बिल 1,600. ये जो सारे पेड वाले हैं बेटे, ये भी कैश ट्रांजेक्शन ही हैं, ठीक है. अगर मैं पी देखूं आपका, सोल्ड ओल्ड टाइप राइटर टू मिस्टर ताहिर फॉर ₹850 ऑन अकाउंट, ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे ऑन अकाउंट का वर्ड मेंशन है, इट मींस ये तो आपकी होगी ही क्रेडिट ट्रांजेक्शन. लाइक हियर यू कैन से परचेज गुड्स वर्थ 24,000 फ्रॉम गौहर ऑन अकाउंट. जिसमें ऑन अकाउंट ऑन क्रेडिट है वो तो आपने फॉरन से ही जो है वो क्रेडिट ट्रांजेक्शन कर दिए. समझना क्या है, आपने जी को समझना है. परचेज ऑफिस टेबल फॉर 4,000 की ऑफिस टेबल की वर्थ है फ्रॉम मिस्टर नुमान. अब यहाँ पे ये मेंशन नहीं है कि जो आपकी परचेजिंग है वो आपके पास कैश पेमेंट है या क्रेडिट, बिकॉज अगर कैश होता तो वर्ड कैश होना जरूरी था या फिर उसका पेड होना जरूरी था, ठीक है. अगर आप उसको नंबर बी से कंपेयर करें, परचेज गुड फ्रॉम मिस्टर बशीर फॉर ₹30,000, लेकिन इसके आगे इन कैश मेंशन है, इसलिए नंबर बी आपका कैश ट्रांजेक्शन है. क्लियर? मैं नंबर सी को प्रोसीड करती हूँ. परचेज गुड फ्रॉम रामीज फॉर ₹10,000. अब हमारे पास अगेन वही ट्रांजेक्शन है जो नुमान की थी. इधर भी हमारे पास मेंशन नहीं है कि पेमेंट बाय कैश है. सो योर ट्रांजेक्शन नंबर सी एंड जी इज हैविंग दिस सिमिलरिटी, क्योंकि उसमें कैश का वर्ड हमारे पास मेंशन नहीं है. क्लियर? होप सो यू पीपल आर गेटिंग द लेक्चर. I proceed further. We have this is your question number 13, in which we have accounting equation and then revenue equation. We have done accounting equation in the previous class. That basic equation for the accounting equation, we have assets equals to liability plus owner's equity. Now we have today another equation that is called revenue equation. Now revenue equation, this is your 2015 past paper question. In revenue equation, the revenue equation states as revenue minus expenses is equals to profit and loss, जिसको हम net income भी कहते हैं. यहाँ पे profit and loss होगा या net income का word भी use हो सकता है. जब भी अब अपने रेवेन्यू में से सारे अपने एक्सपेंस, यानी रेवेन्यू मतलब जो भी आपकी इनकम है, जब भी आप अपनी इनकम में से अपने सारे एक्सपेंसेस को डिटेक्ट करेंगे, माइनस करेंगे, तो डेफिनेटली आपके पास पता चलेगा कि आपने प्रॉफिट जनरेट हुआ है या आपने लॉस सफर किया है. ठीक है, मैं पहले 1 2 3 पे आती हूँ. नंबर 1 में द लाइबिलिटीज ऑफ अ बिजनेस हैविंग एसेट्स 400,000 एंड ओनर्स इक्विटी 180. यहाँ पे जो चीज अंडरलाइन है, आप लोगों ने अंडरलाइन वाले सेक्शंस को फाइंड आउट करना है. ठीक है, यानी आपको यहाँ पे लाइबिलिटी कैलकुलेट करनी है. नंबर 1 में लाइबिलिटीज फाइंड आउट करनी है. एसेट्स 400,000 है और हमारे पास कैपिटल है 180,000. सो लाइबिलिटी का फॉर्मूला लगा दीजिएगा. लाइबिलिटी इज इक्वल टू एसेट माइनस कैपिटल. Then in number 2, we have assets of a business entity having liabilities 100,000 and owner's equity 200,000. Assets का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा बेटा? Liability asset is equals to liability plus capital. Liability और capital को add up कर दें simply. Number 3, we have owner's equity. Capital find out करना है. Assets 200,000 and liabilities 70,000 है. Capital का formula है asset minus liabilities and you have to do it simply. Very easy questions. So then we have 4 5 6 is related to your revenue equation, in which number 1 you have to do revenue of a business entity. Revenue मालूम करना है बेटा आप लोगों ने. You have to calculate the revenue when expenses are 120. Here the expenses are 120 and your net income is your 30,000. क्योंकि ये net income की बात कर रहे हैं और ये positive value है, तो इसलिए हम इसको नेट प्रॉफिट कंसिडर करेंगे. नेट इनकम का मतलब प्रॉफिट और लॉस दोनों होता है. ठीक है, अगर ये लॉस होता है इसके आगे नेट लॉस का वर्ड मेंशन होता, या फिर ये वैल्यू आपकी ब्रैकेट में मेंशन होती. ठीक है, तो ब्रैकेट अकाउंटिंग में नेगेटिव वैल्यूज को शो करता है या नेट लॉस को शो करेगा. ठीक है, अगेन एक्सपेंसेस के लिए भी मैं यही वाली इक्वेशन यूज करूंगी एंड शिफ्टिंग ऑफ प्लेसेस करूंगी कि एक्सपेंसेस फाइंड आउट करने तो रेवेन्यू मेरी दूसरी तरफ जंप करेगा. ठीक है, देन वी हैव अगेन सेल्स रेवेन्यू फाइंड आउट करना है. सेम यही इक्वेशन आप अप्लाई करेंगे and then आपको gross loss भी mention है. So cost of goods sold is given. This will be your expenses and gross loss is given. Let's proceed number 4. This is your basic accounting equation. You all know and we have learned it that all your assets is equals to liability plus capital. And this is your revenue equation. Revenue equation जैसे कि आप लोगों ने बेटा मैं ये वाला क्वेश्चन आपके साथ डिस्कस कर रही हूँ. Number 4, revenue is you have to find out the revenue when expenses is 120 and net income is 30,000. Okay. You have to first of all write it down your revenue equation. Revenue minus expenses is equals to your profit and loss. Then you have to find out the revenue minus you have to put the values for expenses 120,000 which is given in your question. Then you put the value for the profit 30,000. Positive value है तो profit ही होगा. रेवेन्यू फाइंड आउट करना है, जो -120 है इसको शिफ्ट कर दीजिएगा 30 के पास, पॉजिटिव वैल्यू हो जाएगी क्योंकि यहाँ पे ये माइनस था, जब अपनी साइड शिफ्ट करेगा तो पॉजिटिव हो जाएगा. एंड योर आंसर ऑफ रेवेन्यू इज 150,000. ठीक है, अगर आपको अपने रेवेन्यू का आंसर चेक करना है आप दोबारा इस वैल्यू में रेवेन्यू यहाँ पर लिख के देख लें, 150 माइनस 120 आंसर 30 ही आ रहा है. दिस इज योर वेरिफिकेशन. ठीक है, so simply again in revenue equation you just need to put the value and after putting the values you will get your answers. And if you want to recheck your answers you can put your answer over here and then find out it. ठीक है, this is just a small verification. Then we have question number 6, classification of account. This is your 2012 regular. I am requesting you all that you have to solve all these questions into your registers of accounting. Those questions which I am discussing you today, you have to do all these questions in your registers. Okay, so in question number 6, this year 2012 past paper question, we have part A, state the rule of debit and credit in terms of increase and decrease in the value of assets, liabilities. Proprietor is your capital, ठीक है, proprietorship is your capital, revenue and expenses. आपने rule of debit and credit बताना है. Rule of debit credit मैं आपके साथ discuss कर चुकी हूँ. ये आपके nature of accounts हैं. We have 5 nature of account: assets, expense, liability, capital, and revenue. We have 2 columns over here: debited and credited. Assets and expense, when increased it is debited, liability, capital, revenue, it is increased it is credited. ठीक है, आप लोगों ने एग्जामिनेशन परस्पेक्टिव से सेम यही बॉक्सेस शो करना है. ठीक है, वेट, सेम यही बॉक्सेस आप लोगों को शो करना है, और इन्होंने आपसे कहा है कि रूल ऑफ डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंक्रीज एंड डिक्रीज बताना है. तो अभी बेटे मैंने आप लोगों को जो रूल ऑफ डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट शो किया था वो इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंक्रीज एंड डिक्रीज ही शो किया हुआ है उसमें. ठीक है, फिर मैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 के पार्ट बी की तरफ आती हूँ. I proceed towards the part B of question number 6. For any 7 of the following accounts state, आपने इनमें से किसी 7 की नेचर बतानी है एग्जाम में. From my side, wait. From my side, you have to do right now. Office equipment is your fixed asset, cash is your current asset, merchandise inventory is your current asset, account receivable is your current asset, salaries payable is your current liability, capital is your equity, office supplies is your current asset, prepaid rent is your current asset, and accounts payable is your current liability. So it is very easy. यहाँ पे इस वक्त आपके पास कोई रेवेन्यूज गिवन नहीं है, सिर्फ एसेट, लाइबिलिटी और ओनर इक्विटी, ये 3 नेचर ऑफ अकाउंट्स गिवन है, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंसेस में गिवन नहीं है. सो होप सो दिस इज वेरी मच क्लियर टू यू. This is your rule of debit and credit I discussed with you. These are the work examples which I asked you to solve in your registers of accounting, in which you are applying your accounting equation for your practicing. Okay, so this is overall your today's lecture, and I have a request that kindly solve all these questions in your registers of accounting, so you will get your proper confidence of solving the accounting. Thank you so much.